With Bridgerton Season 3 well into production, a little birdie from Lady Whistledown's Society Papers recently told us that there's a chance we might get to see Penelope Featherington as the crown jewel. Penelope's been on the sidelines for way too long. Here's what we know so far about the glow-up sneak peek of Penelope we got from the show. First off, we got our first look at Penelope's glow-up. In a short BTS video, the cast of Bridgerton made finger gestures, doing a countdown as we went from one character to the next, until we finally saw her, our favorite and perhaps the most interesting character from the series, in a carriage where Colin's about to enter. Penelope's a sight for sore eyes. She looked absolutely gorgeous with her hair in an updo. It makes sense for Bridgerton Season 3 to give Penelope a glow-up like this one, since she's expected to star as the center of the upcoming season. In Season 2, we saw Anthony look a lot better than he did in the first season, so it fits right into that pattern. Second, Penelope will be at the center. If there's anything the gorgeous updo, wind-swept bangs, and smoky eyes proved, it's that Penelope will be part of the main plot of the new season. Julia Quinn's books had her character going through the same transformation, so this isn't all that different from the source material. But seriously though, Nicola Coughlan been slapped on in the past seasons. She really didn't deserve to be ignored so much as a sidekick for whimsical Eloise. Nicola herself told us that she's hyped for us to see what's gonna come out of the new season because she believes that her character really finally gets to come into womanhood in it. Well, if womanhood's having her own exclusive Bridgerton romance season, then sure. Kidding. We're looking forward to seeing Penelope front stage and center too. So what's gonna happen in the upcoming season? The last one ended on a cliffhanger that was gonna get us ready for the new season. Since Penelope's the focus of Season 3, let's do a quick recap of where we left her. With a strained friendship with Eloise and her heart broken over Colin, who's clearly too stupid to see the gem that's in front of him, Penelope was in all sorts of tension. From what the show's creators have told us so far, what we know is that Penelope's planning on finding a husband so she can hide her identity as Lady Whistledown, while playing the perfect lady for high society. But of course, it isn't that simple. Colin, who wants to repair things with Penelope, agrees to help her become the perfect wife material because, as we've already seen, the men of Bridgerton have strange requirements for future wives. Well, at least the decent ones don't. And since we've already seen how this kind of romance plays out in tons of novels and TV shows, he catches some good old feelings. There were a lot of clues for this one throughout the show. Even if we just look at the previous seasons, Colin was always all up in Penelope's business, always trying to get close to her. And he was even annoyed when she chose to spend time with Eloise instead. Those accidental touches were probably setting us up for their big romance in the third season. There's a lot of tension between them in the books too. In Julia Quinn's series, Penelope accidentally hears Colin talking about how he'd never choose to be with her. But it was much worse in the show, where he does this at a literal party, surrounded by some pretty terrible guys. We can imagine why Penelope's pissed at him. And what about Colin Bridgerton? If we look at the previous seasons, one Bridgerton has always gotten to dominate each season, and it looks like Colin's the star of this season since Daphne and Anthony have already had their great romances in the previous ones. Of course, with Penelope being his best friend, it makes sense that she was pushed into the limelight too. But Penelope's a strong character in her own right, even without a potential love story with Colin. Nicola herself shared in an interview that their love story will follow the typical pattern of close friends turning into lovers, obviously. Now, will older characters just disappear? Kate and Anthony left a pretty strong impression from their hot and heavy chemistry in the last season, and we'd be heartbroken if they were just removed from the show in the new one. Sure, Penelope and Colin are all nice and cute, but these two had us quoting them for months. Thankfully, Simone Ashley promised us that her character's still gonna be there, and we're gonna see how these two are living out their married lives. Of course, let's not forget about Edwina Sharma, who was discarded by the main plot as soon as she sacrificed her chance at marrying Colin for her sister. Bridgerton could always do with a little less romance and a little more character development, but it looks like Edwina's not gonna be coming back just yet. It's still possible that we'll get to see her again in a spin-off or something. Finally, what else is Season 3 bringing with it? The third installment of the famous historical series has a lot in store for us. 3 new cast members will reportedly be introduced in the forthcoming season. According to Variety, James Foon, Sam Phillips, and Daniel Francis are all scheduled to appear in this show. Francis will take on the role of Marcus Anderson, a brand new character who's said to have a captivating charisma and draw all the ladies of the affluent neighborhood. On the other side, Phillips will portray nobleman Debling, a quirky and extremely wealthy lord. To charm the women of the ton in the play, all you need to do is say this. Since the actress who previously portrayed Francesca Bridgerton just left for another series, a new actor will be hired to play her. So, in her stead, a whole new character will be established. All these new characters seem to suggest that there might be a lot of competition for Colin. It's totally possible that Penelope realizes that he's just not been appreciating her enough and chooses someone else. But what we do know is that Colin and Penelope's romance will be a pretty complex one. And here's some other related news you might have missed out on. First off, Netflix sued the people who made a knockoff version of Bridgerton. Following the increased demand for a Bridgerton musical on TikTok, Netflix filed a lawsuit against the producers of an allegedly unlicensed musical stage adaptation of its well-known historical drama, accusing them of copyright infringement. 3 days after a sold-out performance of the unofficial Bridgerton musical at the Kennedy Center in that city, the complaint was made against Abigail Barlow and Emily Baer. Yikes! Following the first release of the show in December 2020, according to Netflix, the defendants began sharing content about the show on TikTok, where they had 2.4 million followers. This included writing songs based on certain characters, situations, lines of dialogue, and story aspects. That's just going too far. The corporation even claimed that despite repeated warnings to cease, the defendants persisted in creating the unofficial Bridgerton musical, a Grammy-winning CD and a stage production. At the Kennedy Center in Washington, where Netflix was holding its own live Bridgerton event, Barlow and Baer's musical was presented in front of a sold-out audience. Bridgerton fans who would have otherwise gone to the Bridgerton experience were drawn to the Kennedy Center performance, which raised questions about whether Netflix had approved of Barlow and Baer's unlicensed derivative works. Second, Nicola Coughlan shared how tough it is to wear a gown. In a recent interview, Nicola Coughlan discussed the unintended consequences of wearing the Regency gown on the Netflix historical drama set. Nicola took to her Instagram story on Friday and posted a picture of herself with a reddish mark on her neck. The angry red sunburn looks like it's from filming in a gown in the sun all day, which looks like some seriously tough work. With season 3 filming going on and her character Penelope at the center of it, we can assume that she's probably doing a lot of scenes. And maybe it's not all as pretty and glamorous as it seems. Finally, Hannah Dodd talked about the upcoming season. We're not the only ones excited about what's to come in the new season. Hannah Dodd recently shared in an interview how excited she was to see Penelope in the new season. In an interview, she shared that she'd loved her and Colin's dynamic from the beginning, so she was really looking forward to seeing more of that. Dodd has also read Julia Quinn's books and described the characters she plays, Francesca, as a really beautiful character who's shown so well in the books. Well, we don't know about the show so much. They could definitely do more justice to her character. She's not the best person in the series, but Dodd promised she'd do a better job at winning us over with her. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think Penelope will finally get to be the center of the show? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.